Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the full moon. It's on November 5th. It's at 13 degrees of Taurus, and these predictions are for Scorpio and Scorpio rising. So for Scorpio or Scorpio rising, what we would do is we would take the full moon chart, and then because these are general predictions, I'm going to turn it into a zero Aries chart. Then I'm going to turn the chart until Scorpio is on the ascendant. And that's the chart we have here. And of course, one of the things that jumps out at me is that Pluto, your planet ruler, is still making that marvelous trine to Uranus. So that is such an empowering energy for you. It almost can be overwhelming though at times, and so you may feel like you're getting these incredible ideas, but you don't have any time or maybe the resources to actually implement these ideas. Not yet. But what's going to happen is that this is the time of ideas, and then next year when Uranus moves on from this position, then you're going to find that the resources, or maybe not the time, who has time these days, but at least the resources and the help you need to implement some of these ideas. So right now, this is about collecting together those ideas. Now, of course, you can see Pluto's right at the base of your chart, and that's also a reminder to make sure that you're standing on a solid foundation. That is, that you make sure that, that you prioritize things like your emergency fund, that there's food in the pantry, that you have good connections with family or friends, that basically you have a safe and solid place to stand in which to then build whatever it is you want to build. Now, of course, you have two sign rulers, and that other one is Mars. And here's Mars extremely active in this chart, sitting in your house of money, making a direct opposition to the Uranus. So Mars is at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini. Can't get more exact than that. So this is that as you take an action, what's going to happen is unexpected results. And that means that you may have put a quarter in this machine multiple times and always got a ticket. This time you're not getting that ticket. You get a soda pop or something. Something is changing, and it's so different that it can feel a little bit disconcerting. But the thing to do is to not hesitate about this, but actually go and actively, try these different things, and then notice these different results that you're getting. Now, of course, sometimes Scorpio can be rather fixed energy. Well, it's always fixed energy, but sometimes it can be that we don't want to make a change or look at something new, because when something's the same, it feels a little bit safer. But this is why that Pluto that we just mentioned is right at the base of your chart. It does shake up the foundation. It does say, make sure that it's solid, because underneath there may be this ocean rocking back and forth. So, but if you have a boat, then you have something solid to stand on while everything else is in motion. So here we have this energy of the Mars opposing the Uranus, giving you this opportunity to try something and then get some sort of different response, and then see if that's a response you like. If you like it better, to encourage it. If you don't like it, to move on. Now, let's get very specific about this aspect, and that is that Mars is sitting there straddling both of your first house and second house, and you can't see with all the blue there. So it's sitting on both. And so the first house is your energy and your vitality and your confidence and your leadership ability. And second house, of course, is your money. And so these are one side of the equation. On the other side is other people and resources from others. And so this could be you asking for resources, and you might say, I need some money, and they hand you, a chicken, and you go, what do I do with a chicken? but then the next guy says, I really need a chicken, and then you give him the chicken, and then he gives you the money. It's something could be changing like that. This could be an opportunity for you to take a leadership role and then have people say, but we want you to be different. We want a different type of leadership. And then you can say, all right, I either need to have different followers or I need to change how I'm leading. All of this energy here is to show you that you can make these adjustments, you can make changes, and you get a lot of information when you try things and get random results. And of course, then there's the full moon, and that's the energy that you're doing over this next 2 weeks. And that full moon falls in your 7th house, and it is lighting that energy up, and that means relationships, partnerships, and collaborations. It is also, you're kind of thinking about balance, like how much you're putting out into the world, what you're getting back. This may mean that, some friendships that you want to spend more time with because you're getting such value out of it. Maybe on others, you're pulling back a little bit until it feels a little bit more balanced. So the energy here for this full moon over this 2 weeks is very much focused on you going out into the world and connecting with others. And some of that is going to yield these amazing treasures for you. And some of the time you're just going to get like a chicken. And then you say, what do I do with this chicken? Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, we of course want to see if Pluto is making any sort of aspect with Neptune, and that perpetual sextile is still going on. That's going to last still for months and months, maybe years. I haven't even tracked it. So you always have opportunities for connecting with new people, and specifically for a new relationship. But in the more immediate, we want to see if there is a connection between your co-rulers, which is going to be Mars, and Jupiter. And in this case, we've got this very loose out-of-sign trine, which actually makes a trine that's a little bit incompatible. That is that you could meet someone for a love relationship who is very interested in you, but you're not perhaps so sure. Or there's some sort of other obstacle that's just like a little bit of an irritant. They live a little bit too far away. Not so far that, you have to make this huge journey, but not so close that makes it easy. That sort of thing. So, but you do have an aspect. In fact, you have 2 aspects. So therefore, there is some real possibilities if you are out in the world and being social, and with that full moon lighting up that area of relationships and friendships, this is a good time to go look around. Now, when it comes to existing love relationships, we want to see if Pluto is doing anything with Venus. And in this particular case, it's doing an out-of-sign square. Now, that out-of-sign square actually makes the square a little bit more positive, because Venus is in Libra, which is an air sign, and Pluto is in Aquarius, is another air sign. So you actually have some reason that you have to come together, that you have to work on something, but there's more harmony in this than usual. So, maybe the refrigerator's out and the 2 of you have to come together and figure out how to get a new refrigerator and how to get the old one out and all that. But in the process, you actually get this great deal, and you find that you can really work together and you're closer, and so some sort of benefit can come out of it, or at least the whole process is a little bit easier because it's an out-of-sign square. Now, when it comes to your money, we very much look to Jupiter to see where the money can be pulled from in the immediate. And Jupiter is getting ready. It's kind of slowing down now. It's getting ready to turn retrograde. And that means that you'll be going back over some other ideas that you've had, other opportunities that were from the past. Something is coming back, but it's right now, this Jupiter is just slowing down. It hasn't turned yet. And so this is a time to really kind of drill down into something that you're learning that you're going to use to make money, whether that's learning about marketing or learning about the actual skill set that you need to do the service or to create the goods. Or this is you building a business, looking at how to do the LLC or how to in general structure or hire, or so all of those sort of tasks that as Jupiter slows down, it's time to say, all right, if I haven't cracked the books, now I got to do it. Now I have to get the paperwork done. Now I have to really understand how to do this stuff. With an astrology reading, you get more information about who you are, your talents and abilities. You get to see what obstacles are ahead, and you can get a game plan for how to get past those obstacles and find success. So if you're interested in having a reading, there's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to money derived from business or from investments, we're going to look at the relationship that Jupiter has with Mercury. And Mercury is down here, and it is not talking to that Jupiter, at least you wouldn't think it was. But there is a hidden aspect, and that is because Mercury is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So it's going to feel like there's a disconnect, like things are not happening, but there is this hidden compatibility. That means that, someone says, no, I'm not interested, but my friend is, and then they send you the friend. Or they say, I can't buy the big package, but I'll buy the small package. And, something does happen that the money is flowing in because of this hidden aspect. But it's not going to be as direct as it normally is. It's going to seem to come a little bit out of left field. Now, your sign is unique in that when we look at money derived from career, we also look at Mercury because the way the chart is set up when we're doing these general predictions. Now, that means that there is some harmony here for getting a raise, for getting more money, but it's not on the surface, it's something underneath, which could mean that it's a one-time payoff, something, or they give you an extra day off, or they give you some other perk. It's not as strong as it could be. This energy is going to line up again in the future, especially because Mercury will go retrograde next month. But for now, it's that there's a possibility of getting maybe just a little gift, a little token, something. I just wanted to jump in really quick to say that my big class on predictions is coming up soon. It's on November 9th. We're going to be talking about the year of the fire horse as well as Western astrology predictions. And so if you are interested in what's ahead for 2026, then there is a link in the description with more information and to register.